Hello, this is Melissa in Canada again, and I'd like to take a moment to talk about Hugh Thomson. In 1894, Hugh Thomson illustrated Pride and Prejudice for George Allen Publishing, and that became known as the famous Peacock edition. It has the cover, which is a dark cloth with a peacock on it, standing on a sundial admiring his own tail feathers. And that was a publishing success beyond their dreams, and it's going for so much money right now I will probably never get near one. After he had done that for George Allen, Macmillan hired Hugh Thomson to illustrate the remainder of Jane Austen's novels for their Macmillan Standard Novels series. The first one to come out after that was Pride and Prejudice, which, because Hugh Thomson had already done that for George Allen, was illustrated by Charles Brock. Following that, in 1896, was Sense and Sensibility. If you have a bibliography of Jane Austen by Gilson, this is the Sense and Sensibility that came out in 1896, and he mentions in his description that this cover here, came out around June, and that the decorative cloth, or cloth elegant, with all of the gilt decorations and artwork on the cover, came out later that same year. So this one is the genuine or true first edition. The first time the public saw Hugh Thomson's illustrations for Sense and Sensibility, it was in this edition. If you take a look at this cloth, you can see that the pattern on the cover includes a capital M for Macmillan. I like to refer to this as the Macmillan cloth. And then if you open this up, you can see that the frontispiece tissue paper is still here, and this is the frontispiece illustration. And if I turn this over, you'll see this says 1896. So this is actually the first edition of the Hugh Thomson illustrated Sense and Sensibility. This is actually very fragile and in quite frail condition, but I'm very delighted to have this, and it is one of my prize pieces in my collection. I also have a video about pocket classics, and you can see the pocket classics came out in 1902, and they were much smaller duplicates of the Macmillan Standard novels, so they also have all of the Hugh Thomson illustrations in them. But this is the full-size Macmillan Standard novel from 1896. I have one other very, very nice piece by Hugh Thomson here. After having done Jane Austen's novels, he also illustrated other works of fiction, still for Macmillan. And this one is Fanny Burney's Evelina. This looks an awful lot like how the Peacock edition was done, a dark cloth, very gold decorated cover. And as you can see here, all of the edges are trimmed and gilded. So it is a little bit smaller than this one, because for this one, the top was trimmed, but none of it is gilded and none of the other edges are trimmed. So this one actually looks a little bit bigger than this one. I have read Evelina once, but I really look forward to reading it again, and I'm going to do it here and read it with Hugh Thomson's illustrations. So this edition is from 1903. That is the first edition, and I can see there is a name here, and it says Xmas 1903. So this is also, just as this is, a first edition of Evelina illustrated by Hugh Thomson. This is very similar to how the Peacock edition was done inside. You can see there's a lovely frontispiece illustration and the tissue paper here. And then it is Hugh Thomson, Macmillan. There is an introduction here, and if you go forward to where the illustrations are listed, this is done very much like the Macmillan Standard novels. There are 40 illustrations, as well as one of which is the frontispiece, including the frontispiece. But you can see, similar to how the Peacock edition was done, there is an illustration that actually includes the title list of illustrations. So this is very reminiscent to how the Peacock edition was done. And I very much look forward to reading this. It's in very good shape, and I'm very happy to have that in my collection. Thank you very much.